Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one. Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. On bar.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy. Yeah.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three. Lamas covered. Three-handle family credential.
Mamma mia.
And now,
Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
it's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin. Number 4, armbar. I will never retire. I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Wednesday, I hope, and you know what that means. It's time for the King of Sportscast. We are running late because I don't know if you can tell or not, my throat is very sore. I am recovering. Oh, not really recovering. I'm kind of in the middle of a bout with the man flu, and I'm told so is my co-host, Big Boy Mikey. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm about as shit as you, but mine's not the head, it's the other side, so let's not discuss that. It's a little bit
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Wow.
a little bit
Too much information.
Absolutely, but yeah, both of us fell down yesterday. We don't have a third King of Sports guy that will quickly come in and save us, but no, look, we're one day
To
behind.
be fair, it wasn't just us either. It was New Japan as well, because I did, while I was sick in bed, I logged into New Japan World to watch the last 2 nights of the Cup, because I hadn't yet watched the last 2 nights of the Cup. And it was down for maintenance. And so instead, I watched Southern Pro Wrestling New Zealand, because, you know, wrestling on the edge of the world. And I quite enjoyed it, so I had a good day anyway. But yeah, so I didn't even get to catch up on the New Japan Cup until today.
Well, there you go. I'm glad that they did do their maintenance, though, because next week they're going to have a lot of viewers clicking on to New Japan World next Sunday. Next Sunday for us. So, yeah.
You think they're going to get slammed?
Oh, yeah.
Is it live on New Japan World? I know it's live on Honor Club.
Sure is. Yeah, it's live with New
Wow.
Japan. Yeah. I think it's a combination team of Riccaboni, Kelly, and Cabana, I've read.
Nice.
I think I've seen that.
That'll be a good team.
Yeah.
Riccaboni and Kelly fill similar roles, though, so...
Yeah. I kind of wish there was Charlton in there, but anyway.
No, but then you've got 3 people who fill the same role. No, you need Don Callis in there or Colt Cabana in there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like once that stuff becomes official, we'll know more. But yeah, no, it's I guess let's dive into New Japan.
The New Japan Cup?
Yeah.
Because I think that the G1 Supercard next week, pretty much there's nothing happening in Ring of Honor. There's nothing happening in New Japan. So next week is literally just the road to the G1 Supercard. So we'll talk about all that stuff then. Let's look at the week that was. Let's look at what happened between the last time we spoke and now. The New Japan Cup has finished.
Yeah, I mean, next week's a preview week for pretty much the entire wrestling world, right? New Japan Cup. What a phenomenal tournament this was this year. I say it every year with the New Japan Cup. I really love single elimination tournaments like that.
You love every tournament, though.
I do.
Let's be real.
I do, and I've got it in my notes for a little bit further down in my notes here. But I just love that you can get rivalries and stories and matchups out of a tournament, and that's the way that wrestling should be. I mean, yes, there's also the fun side of entertainment, WWE stuff. I don't know. I just find booking out of tournaments pro wrestling. I don't know. There's more pro wrestling involved in that. If that makes sense. This tournament, the last 4 nights were phenomenal. I think only maybe one out of the 10, 11 final matches of the tournament weren't really a stellar match, and that was, in my opinion, the Sonata Cabana match was the only one that kind of fell short for me. Everything else, even Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii put on a great match. So, yeah, I guess we're not going to talk about the undercards on any of these shows because only other than one match on the final night, which I'll talk about in a minute, had real implications for anything. So we'll start with the final 8, so the quarterfinals. That was over 2 nights. So we had Ishii defeating Yoshihashi. We had Kazuchika Okada defeating Will Ospreay in a very emotional match. That was just fantastic. Sonata defeating Cabana in what like I said, was probably one of the only 4 matches out of those 2 nights that fell short for me. And then Tanahashi defeating Zack Sabre Jr., which is an important note. So hold your thought on that one. Then in the final 4, we had Kazuchika Okada defeating Tomohiro Ishii, Sonata defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi, which amazing. And then in the final, I think this was to be expected. Kazuchika Okada defeating Sonata to win the New
heading
Cup.
to the Madison Square Garden Super Show. I think we predicted this heading in.
Yeah, and the rumors were always there that I don't know if it's actually a thing, but Jay White was always going to be a title. He won that title basically to drop it to Okada at MSG. And I was like, nah, I don't think that's happening. Now I feel it's happening. So
yeah. Well, I mean, at one point, I said that Colt Cabana was going to go to the Madison Square Garden for the headline. I still believe he should have, but no, it's
he'll be there. He'll be commentating on the main event.
Okada was the right choice. Story-wise, you got Okada, Jay White, and do you think he takes it? I mean, I guess this is more conversation for next week, but
yep,
you got to think he takes it.
Yep,
you got to.
Yep,
yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about that next week. But as for these couple of nights, the final nights here, which of these matches stood out to you as the match of the final half of the tournament?
Anything that involved Ishii or Okada, everything felt perfect.
So that's it for me, right? Ishii versus Okada. Holy crap. Yeah. That match was fantastic. When Ishii countered the Rainmaker with the giant headbutt and just destroyed him with the lariat, I was like, holy shit, he's dead. I thought Okada was legitimately murdered.
Well, yeah, for me, it was the Okada Ospreay match. There's just a little bit more emotional attachment there for me. I love Ospreay. The story between those two, though, was what got me in that match. But yeah, Ishii and Sonata, in my opinion, other than the winner, are the 2 MVPs of this tournament. They both just look super amazing.
I think you have to give Okada. I think you have to give Ishii the MVP for the entire New Japan Cup.
Yeah.
He did not have a single bad match.
No.
He even made Yoshihashi look good.
Yeah, exactly. A fantastic tournament. This is Okada's 2nd New Japan Cup win. Just adds even more to his legacy. I personally think he's in a top 10 Japanese wrestlers of all time list. This just adds to it. those lengthy title reigns and the defenses and whatnot. I expect, we'll talk about it more, I expect to hear the Rainmaker sound drop at Madison Square Garden in the main event, 100%.
Yeah, will that match be the main event? Will I think the IWGP title goes on over the top of the Ring of Honor World title, but I don't know how they're going to navigate that.
I'm not sure, but yeah, the 100% the IWGP title headlines, big time. The emotion, from Okada in the press conference was just how proud he is of the Japanese, like New Japan being here at Madison Square Garden, like they've conquered the West Coast, but they kind of more feel like Ring of Honor sort of shows, or they don't really kind of feel like a New Japan show where this is going to be something special. So
yeah, but I think listening to a lot of other New Japan purists, New Japan podcasts, New Japan write-ups, a lot of New Japan fans are not excited about the prospect, especially people that are going to the shows. They're like, pretty much every Ring of Honor match is a piss break. And I'm like, okay, like as a Ring of Honor fan, I'm like, that's a bit insulting. But I think a lot of the hardcore New Japan fans are still looking at it like this isn't really a New Japan show.
Nah. It's not a New Japan show, and it's not a regular Ring of Honor show. This is something that is...
Well, look, there's a lot of people not on the card who you assume will show up in the Honor Rumble. But again, we're verging into next week's talk. We need to... I'm not feeling great. You're not feeling... We want to keep this episode relatively short. We're talking about what's happened. Best match of the tournament. Which match do you give it to?
I'm going to Okada Ospreay.
From the whole tournament?
Yeah.
For me, it's a toss-up between Ospreay Archer. I'm still raving about that match, just how much it surprised me.
Yeah.
And Okada Ishii.
Okay, that's fair enough. And I forgot about I changed my mind actually, because Kota and Naito was fantastic.
And I feel like Okada and Sonata as well in the final. I feel like that's the best Sonata singles match we've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, just some little notes off that. So when Sonata technically lost that match, at that time, that meant that no LIJ member had a major match at MSG, which I was just like, just crazy. But we obviously know some changes that have happened since then, which we'll talk about in a minute. And like I said before about the Zack Sabre Jr. Tanahashi part, there were important victories along the way in this tournament. So obviously Kota pinning Naito in round 1. Tanahashi defeating Zack Sabre.
Intercontinental title implications.
Yep, Tanahashi defeating Zack Sabre Jr., which at the time, I guess my head didn't really think about it. But yes, Tanahashi pinned the RevPro champ.
So British heavyweight title implications.
And then Chase defeating Juice in round 1, which he did get his title shot, not at Madison Square Garden, which...
No, just on the final night there. And it's a pretty good match. I think this was a breakout tournament for Chase Owens.
Absolutely.
Even though he was out quite early, just getting that pin and then having the match with Juice, it was kind of a breakout moment for him.
Yeah, and he got a T-shirt out of it, a bracket buster. You got a new thing out of it, bracket buster, which is fair enough. So like I said at the start about how much I love these tournaments, those sort of implications are what's important in tournaments for me. Like, I love that. And when you pin that someone that's had a title, that means you get a title match. Like, it's very smart but basic booking, and I love it.
It's solid booking. It's a shame, though, that they didn't do the Chase and Juice match at Madison Square Garden, because now it looks like the US title is not being defended in the big US show. Like, this is the biggest show they've ever done in the US, and the title they created for the country, it's nowhere to be seen.
Well, yeah. Well,
it's a little strange to me.
That is a perfect segue into segment 2. And
let's look at the
speaking
matches.
of, the full card of Madison Square Garden has been revealed. 11 matches, 8 title matches, 10 different titles, 3 different promotions. I think I counted right. 58 athletes from Ring of Honor, New Japan, RevPro, CMLL, and I think maybe...
Is that including the Rumble?
That's including the Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe even some NWA guys making appearances in head of the the tag tournament later next month.
The Crockett
Yeah,
Cup.
Crockett Cup. So, in my opinion, it does shape up to be if not the strongest card of the entire Mania weekend. This screw the purists. Sorry, but this is a fantastic card. Some interesting matchups that we haven't seen before. Some interesting title implications that we have no idea how it's going to go. So let's run through it. So first off, we're going to have a 30-man on rumble. We know Liga has been announced for it. This will be potentially his last shot in America before his retirement. It's still a couple of months. He might come back something, but this could be. Now, quick pause. I want to insert a little note here. Anyone that's an Aussie Graps fan, I want to get you on Twitter, hashtagging Robbie Eagles for MSG. Hashtag Robbie Eagles for MSG. Tag in New Japan, tag in Ring of Honor. He's not confirmed for the Rumble yet, but let's get in there. He's there and he'll be there backstage or with the boys over the weekend anyway. Let's get him in that Rumble.
So we want him in the Rumble, and the only person at the moment who is officially announced for the Rumble is a man who Robbie Eagles holds wins over.
Absolutely.
Jushin Thunder Liger is in there. Why is not the man who tapped him out in his debut match? Why is he not in the Rumble?
Yeah.
It's a travesty. It is a crime against wrestling. Hashtag Robbie Eagles for MSG. Hashtag Robbie Eagles for G1 Supercard.
Yep, and also, just in case, I forgot to do this on Twitter and someone called me out on it, hashtag Gino for MSG too. I mean, he will be there too. So either one or both would be amazing. But yes, hashtag Robbie Eagles for MSG. But let's go down the rest of the card. Speaking of Robbie Eagles, his Aussie rivalry, Will Ospreay has a match with Jeff Cobb. This is Never versus Ring of Honor TV, winner takes all match.
Lots of winner takes all matches.
A lot of winner takes, which is very interesting, like I said. Roosh versus Dalton Castle, which is going to be an interesting match. May Iwatani versus Kelly Klein for the Women of Honor title. Bully Ray versus TBA in a street fight. My head kept saying Flip Gordon, but then I realized that he's redone his knee. And if it's not, is this Juice's spot?
Is it Juice's spot, or is it the spot for someone who is not on the card and absolutely should be, like an Ishii, like a Suzuki, like a Goto, someone from New Japan to come out there and just beat the shit out of Bully Ray?
Yeah. Or is this just going to be some ECW legend that they bring out to do it again?
Yeah.
Probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Or Tommy Dreamer comes out and introduces Willie Mack.
That would be cool.
The thing is, in the promo where Bully Ray said, he's laying out an open challenge, I went back and rewatched the promo, and he does say, "You know who you are," and he's like, "So come down and don't be such a punk," or something to that effect. But he emphasized the word punk. So I think they want us to think, ooh, it's Madison Square Garden. Is CM Punk going to return? He's not. He's not going to return. It's not going to happen. If it does, I'll be very happy. But why would he return for a match against Bully Ray? Like, of all things.
No. Maybe the punk part is meant to be Flip Gordon, the young punk.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Yeah, and to get his uppance on Bully Ray after all that. But yeah, going on, we'll discuss that more in depth next week. Taiji Ishimori versus Dragon Lee versus Bandito for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match. There's not enough air in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks have sucked the life out of that arena. These three will bring the air back to that arena. I can't wait. Now, this next match is going to be fucking interesting. Fatal four-way tag match. Guerrillas of Destiny versus Villain Enterprises, which was always slated to be. Now they have added in LIJ, Evil and Sonata, and the Briscoes back into this. So Evil and Sonata dropped the titles to Guerrillas of Destiny. Briscoes dropped the titles to Villain Enterprises. Not that New Japan works on rematches, but somehow Evil and Sonata got a rematch. Briscoes got their rematch, all into one. Winner takes all. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. I predicted it last week, right? I said that they've got to make it a multi-team match.
Yeah. It's going to be a clusterfuck, but a good one. Then we got Zack Sabre Jr. for Hiroshi Tanahashi for the RevPro British Heavyweight title. Naito versus Ibushi for the IWGP IC title. But those two matches are implications of New Japan Cup tournament play. Just fantastic. You get 2 title matches on a card 2 weeks before. You don't need to have a build. You don't need to build a WrestleMania storyline with 2 weeks to go. Because guess what? That's just the build. He beat him and he gets the title shot. Done. Then you got Jay Lethal v. Marty Scurll v. Matt Taven for the Ring of Honor World, and Jay White versus Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Like I said, 10 different titles being defended on the one show from 3 different.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Some of those matches are winner takes all, right?
Yeah.
So the tag team, the Never and TV. It's almost like the universes are colliding permanently.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Well, this is perfect for the King of Sports universe, you know?
Yeah. Maybe they've become King of Sports Wrestling. No, it's never going to happen. But yeah, so we'll go more into that next week.
Yeah.
we'll take like a deeper look at what we think is going to happen. We'll give our predictions. We'll do all that sort of stuff. We might even reach out to our Patreon backers and see what our Patreon backers believe is going to go down and see if they have any predictions they want to give us for the show. And so if you want to, of course, if you want to be involved on a deeper level with the B Plus podcast, you can always go to patreon.com/the B Plus, where you get some pretty cool rewards and access to us through that. But moving on, though, let's take a look at this week in Ring of Honor. Very light week. It's just Ring of Honor TV. I don't really have a lot to say because it was pretty much just 3 matches and a bunch of generic promos about the Madison Square Garden show. Like, we sold out the Madison Square Garden. This is a dream. Bully Ray being like, we sold out Madison Square Garden. I've done it before. Big deal. It's pretty much all there was. But Dalton Castle and the boys took on the Lifeblood team of Juice, Hot Sauce, and Bandito. Bandito gets the win over one of the boys with his float over German suplex. Fairly good opening match. Then we get a Jay Lethal promo about Madison Square Garden. A Briscoes promo about the Garden. They're still holding the titles. What? Just have them cut the promo without the titles if you know that this is going to air after they've lost the titles. Just terrible. They need a continuity person. Rhett Titus versus Willie Mack. Great match. Willie Mack is so underrated. I say this on every episode of the Impact Zone podcast. I say it on every episode of King of Sports where he shows up. Willie Mack is one of the best in the world, and he's super underrated. He gets the win with the frog splash, and don't get me wrong, Rhett Titus is great as well, though. So
yeah,
I hope Rhett Titus gets a good feature spot in the Honor Rumble. Maybe a double elimination happens. Maybe like everyone's eliminated and there's a double elimination and he comes out and he's the only person in the ring and he gets to do some poses and stuff because Rhett Titus is amazing. Then we get a Bully Ray promo, and then we get the main event, which is Coast to Coast versus Gresham and Lethal. Another very good match. Gresham and Lethal pick up the win, but there's not really much storyline-wise to talk about. We're just chugging along towards the Garden.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of names extra for the Honor Rumble that we kind of didn't think about. The rest of Lifeblood in Tracy and, my apologies, name blank.
Haskins,
Tracy,
yeah, all of those guys,
for the Rumble. And then, like someone like a Gresham, I'd love to see pop up in the Rumble. Even some of the RevPro, I'm really hoping Aussie Open.
We got to remember as well that it's a New Japan show, so they could be seconds, right? So Gresham could second Lethal, although Lethal's in a ladder match, so you can't really have a second in a ladder match.
Yeah.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, OUTBREAK NUTRITION. OUTBREAK NUTRITION are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at OUTBREAK NUTRITION. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNUTRITION.com, enter the code B+ at checkout. Alright guys, just before we get started, I want to take a second to tell you about a game I've been playing on my iPhone. You can get it on iPhone, you can get it on Android, all their tablets and what have you. It is called the Muscle Hustle app. They are good friends of the show, and they were hooking us up with codes to sort of help you guys get ahead if you were to decide to play the game. But unfortunately, in the latest software updates with iTunes and what have you, the codes aren't working. So we're trying to get that fixed. But in the meantime, if you click the link in the show notes and download the Muscle Hustle, it's a fantastic game. It's you collect wrestlers and train your wrestlers up, all with unique individual gear and everything to raise them through the ranks from jobber to superstar to legend. You go around collecting the titles, and you can even play with your friends. So unfortunately, no leg up to offer you, but if you hit the link in the show notes, it will let them know that we sent you, and it'll help us out, it helps them out, and it helps you out because it's a really fun game to play. So check out the Muscle Hustle app on iOS, Android, and all your mobile devices. The link, of course, is in the show notes. Yeah. Anyway, what happened in CMLL?
Yeah, so CMLL, I'm breaking it down. I've tried different ways every week, gone through just a Friday card. I'm just going to do some highlights from the week because I watched all 3 shows. But I'm not going to run down all 3 shows because half of it doesn't mean shit to a whole lot of people. So I'm just going to do the important stuff. So on last Monday, I'm going to stick to the American time just in case it gets lost in translation. At Arena Puebla, I finally learned how to say that properly. Thanks, Cody Rhodes. Puebla. It's not Puebla. I keep saying Puebla. It's Puebla. LA Park returns to CMLL, tagging up with his son El Hijo de LA Park and his nephew Volador Jr. to take on the Los Guerreros. You watch MLW a lot. How fucking good is LA Park for 50 plus? I mean, he's maybe outside of maybe Minoru Suzuki and a couple of others.
I'm not convinced it's the same man. I'm not.
It is. It is.
I don't believe it.
The Triple A one is fake. That's the fake one. But the LA Park that's in CMLL and MLW, yeah, that's the one that was still tearing it up with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero back in the 90s. Like, he's the same man. He's like PCO, but with a mask. Like, he is just killing it at the 50 plus year. I think he's 52 or 53. I can't remember exactly. But he's just so good.
He is. It's
and I'm not just saying that because he retweets me every time I freaking tweet about something. But yeah, just had to highlight that LA Park in CML is awesome. He always does weird and wacky costumes because he can't exactly wear the black and white LA Park in Mexico because AAA owned that in Mexico, so he can't wear the black and white. A little bit more of a what's that character from Star Wars, the red and black thing? What is it? I'm not a Star Wars fan. What's the one with the red and black in the new Star Wars?
Darth Maul.
He does a little bit more of a Darth Maul.
You said new Star Wars. You threw me off. That Star Wars was new when we were 13, Mikey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a Star Wars. I was going to say I'm not a nerd, but I am a massive Marvel nerd, so I can't do that. No. But yeah, I love his what he does in CML with his different Darth Maul type masks and that, which is cool. But moving on from that, on Tuesday, New Values in Arena Mexico, Dragon Lee defeated Mephisto for the CMLL World Welterweight title match. Mephisto had that title for, I think it was 1,050 days. He won that from Grand Metalik, who was also known as Mascara Dorada back at that time. In 2016. That's how long he's held that title for. So Dragon Lee is actually going to have 2 titles around his waist or on his shoulder walking into MSG in that triple threat. He's the current CMLL World Lightweight Champion. He's held that for nearly 1,000 days or over 1,000 days. Title he won from Hiromu Takahashi back in 2016. So he's got 2 titles that have been around for a couple of years. So he walks into MSG with 2 belts, and we'll talk about it more next week, like we kept saying. I think there's a chance he walks out as a champ.
Yeah,
I think I don't think Bandito does, but I think Dragon Lee walks out as the champ, and then we maybe get Dragon Lee Hiromu Takahashi for the title down the line. I could see it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so Dragon Lee can potentially walk out of MSG with 3 belts. 3 belts, Dragon Lee. It'd be great. Then on Friday, the Super VNs, really solid show as per standard. With one match standing out, another lightning match between the two bad guys, or Rudos, in Barbaro Cavernario and Forestero, which was a huge upset for me. When I saw this on the card, I was like, oh, cute. This is going to be a good lightning match. I knew it'd be a fun match, but I thought, no, of course Cavernario is going to win. No, he didn't. Forestero actually got the upset win over him. They got a rematch this Friday, which is great. I love that Forestero pick the win up here. One of those moments when you're like, oh, that's not what I expected when we play the armchair booker, where I was like, oh yeah, we know they're going to win. CMLL know how to trick you a little bit, which is great. Really fun match.
Yeah.
Nearly went to 10 minutes. And quick note. Last week, Terrible and Bestia lost their hair in the Apuestas match against Roja and Ora Jr. Terrible looks badass with no hair. It's amazing what happens when you lose a mask. Someone like Almas, like that. La Sombra mask is so popular, but he took it off, and we can all admit it. Almas is a very beautiful man, and that face is there for the world to see.
Yes, he is. When you say we can all admit it, it sounds like you're almost a little bit scared, right? Don't be scared, brother. Just loud and proud. Almas is a handsome individual.
Almas is a handsome individual. Del Rio, back the same. That Dos Carras mask was so famous back in.
No, I don't agree with Del Rio. No.
When he first debuted with that suaveness, mate, he was a handsome man.
No. Almas is very much a handsome individual. Del Rio, hard pass.
Fair enough, but
it's a hard pass.
But to replay, he kept his beard, and he looks like a weird combination of either Batista, Perry Saturn, or Carl Anderson, and he actually looks badass, like he's jacked. So he's got that Batista shaved head, beard look. But yeah, and I'm like, mate, you just reinvented yourself with a head shave. That's amazing. Like, he looks terrifying. So I hope they work that into his character, because yeah, it's fantastic. And then coming up this week, this Friday/Saturday morning for the Aussie viewers, Naito returns to CMLL on his way to Madison Square Garden to tag with Rush and Terrible, the new look Terrible, against Caristico, Volador Jr. and Valiente. So I love seeing Naito in CMLL because he comes out with the cool Los Ingobernables jackets, and they all look so good. I think most of LIJ will probably go with him. Evil and Bushi usually go with him. They usually come out with their entrances and that. So that'll be cool. That's pretty much it from CMLL this week. Big week for Dragon Lee, big week for Dragon Lee, and a big week next week for him too, and Rush. So you also got CMLL stars tearing it up at that MSG, which is cool. I love seeing. So that is it in Mexico. Do we jump over to the UK for RevPro? Just a quick little touch on RevPro.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm super behind on RevPro. There's been so much. I mean, I'm behind on Australia, and Australia is kind of my thing. I have 2 Schwa shows I'm yet to watch. The PWA show is coming out tonight, and I still need to record 2 more podcast episodes and get those out. So I'm worried I'm not going to get to watch PWA on night 1, which is kind of a point of pride with me. But I have taken the time though to watch at least 1 match from RevPro live in Northampton because it happened on Sunday. It's already up on the RPW on demand. I don't know if you know this, but our boys, the Velocities, are over in the UK at the moment, and I think they started with Attack, and it's already making the rounds. The second Shooting Star DDT happened at Attack Pro Wrestling, and it's been gift where they faced off against our other boys, Aussie Open, over there. So that was an Attack, not really relevant to us here for King of Sports, but they also debuted for RevPro. Yeah, in a tag team match against Dan McGee and Curtis Chapman, where they picked up the win. Yeah,
which is great. Look, they went over. They bunked up with former fellow PWA guy or fellow Aussie in Sean Custom. They've been bunking up with him, and they've been getting some good bookings. Yeah, look, we don't talk Attack on here. We don't talk all about all the game news, but Attack is somewhat of a RevPro light kind of roster. It's pretty much RevPro light when you look at the cards and that. Fantastic bookings from Paris and Jude. Super proud of these guys. Paris and Jude are just two of the most humble guys. I love chatting with them after every PWA show. Sadly missed them last weekend, but Matt Diamond tried to hold it down for Velocities on his own. But no, that match was absolutely awesome. I can't wait to watch the rest of this card because there's some good matchups and some good results on this card. I'm not going to go through all the results, but there's some great matches. Like MJF was on this. So 3 of All Elite's boys were on this. MJF, Kip Sabian, and Park. They were all on this.
Yeah, All Elite's everywhere.
Yeah.
Pentagon and Joey Janela have just been announced for World Series Wrestling over here.
Joey Janela's been announced?
Yeah.
Like right now as we just podcast?
Literally while we're talking.
Fuck,
yeah,
awesome.
like 15 minutes ago.
So good. If Penta isn't enough, Joey Janela just makes that even sweeter.
No, but what I'm saying is All Elite Wrestling, though. All Elite Wrestling are everywhere. And you want to go an entire King of Sports podcast without mentioning Cody, without mentioning the Bucks, without mentioning Kenny Omega, but it's impossible. It's impossible. They're everywhere.
No. I already mentioned Cody. He taught me how to say Arena Puebla this week. All Elite are everywhere. El Fantasma was on this card, the newest member of Bullet Club, which actually I didn't talk about with the New Japan part. Bullet Club have added El Fantasma into Bullet Club. He's just a debut in the colours or in a ring with the boys, but he's announced as a Bullet Club member. So whether he's going to be kind of like the British kind of version of Robbie Eagles, where he stays in the UK, and when he comes over to Japan, he'll be a.
I feel like that's the next chapter, pun intended, in the Bullet Club story is to have chapters. Yeah. You have a Bullet Club Australia, have a Bullet Club Japan, have a Bullet Club America, have a Bullet Club England. Like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And it should be anyone that goes through the Farley Dojo should just be automatically Bullet Club Oceania. No. So good on Phantasmo there. But yeah, so another solid show. A couple of cool matches have been announced. So they've got Cockpit 40 this weekend coming up. And Velocities have actually been announced for this weekend as well. They're teaming up to take on the team of Team White Wolf, A-Kid, and I can't think of the other guy's name off the top of my head. So they're in a Cockpit show, which is even better. The first show was kind of the smaller ones, RevPro live shows. This is actually at a Cockpit show, which would be even cooler. Cooler for them. You got El Fantasma taking on Park, which would be great. Zack Sabre Jr. taking on James Mason. And then they've got 4 matches confirmed for RevPro Live in New York, which is, 2 days before Madison Square Garden, or 1 day, I think it is. Rocky Romero will take on Rizuki Taguchi. So there's 2 guys that aren't on the MSG card that are in New York, so they'll be in the on a Rumble. Aussie Open, Davison Fletcher taking on Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo. David Starr is going to be taking on Tomohiro Ishii. David Starr is just phenomenal at the moment, isn't he, with his promos? Holy shit. That promo with Jay Lethal for the Israel match is one of the best promos I've ever watched.
Oh, man, yeah, we should touch on that. I should have brought that up in Ring of Honor news, actually, because the Ring of Honor title is being defended in Israel. And, it's whoever wins at the Garden will be going to Israel to defend it. But that promo from David Starr, holy crap, they made him pull it down. I don't know if it was Sinclair Broadcasting or who. All he said was the powers that be. They requested that he pull it down, and because the flights and everything were already paid for, which kind of spoils the outcome of the Ring of Honor title match, because he was like, Jay Lethal's flights have already been paid for.
Yeah. I mean, cards always subject to change, but yeah.
Yeah, but you can't change the name on a flight that you've booked.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, he could just be working. But yeah, it's it was someone asked him to pull it down, and he had to pull it down, and he was like, out of respect for the company that are bringing us over, I'm gonna take it down, but I stand by everything I said. It was pretty impressive.
I'm super impressed. Between him and Matty Wahlberg, 2 promos of the week for sure. He's taking on Tomohiro Ishii, which would be fantastic. And then you got a tag team main event, which is very interesting. Tanahashi and Ospreay are taking on Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, and Zack Sabre Jr., which is a super cool match. So that's for RevPro Live in New York. That'll be on Fight as part of the Fight package or just on its own, if you wish to buy it on its own. But that weekend is just going to be stacked, isn't it? I mean, who's got time to watch all of this?
Look, I considered getting the Fight Fest, but they've taken the package down now. And when I went to purchase it, when I had the money, I went to purchase it. It was gone. But there's like so many shows to watch. I don't even know where to start. I have no idea where to start for WrestleMania weekend of all the shows. But I feel like that's something we can talk about next week. I want to, just once again, big congratulations to Velocities for making a successful debut with RevPro, and it looks like they're going to come back. They've made an impression, and also their gear, right? You watched the match too, right? That their gear, Spartan Spirit, and they came out in like the Spartan inspired stuff. I really liked it. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, it's different. Never seen that.
Yeah. But I think we'll put a pin in it here, and we'll get into because we started talking about Mania week again. It's hard not to at the moment. We're in silly season for wrestling fans, but I think we'll save that for next week, or else we're not going to have any content.
Yeah, freaking oath.
Yeah. All right, so let's put a pin in it there, Mikey. Where can people find you?
Oh, I have changed it again. So
Are you
keeping it? I'm keeping this.
You got to message me when you change these things because I have to tag you in posts.
Well, yeah, that's all good. I'm now at B+_big boy on Twitter and Instagram. Sounds a lot more professional. There we go.
All right, and I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B+ Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold three. The moss-covered three-handle family grudungle. Mamma mia. It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin. Number 4, armbar.